Does he know y'all have this in the doc?
I would doubt he knows.
So when this airs, that'll be the first time that his legal team, Diddy, that everybody knows that this footage is now seeing the light of day. One could watch this and think that you really hate Sean Combs.
If Sean Combs watches this, what do you think he's going to feel?
Like, wow, this is amazing. I think he's going to say this is the best documentary.
Actually, Janice Combs, how you feel about her? I mean, they alleging that she was, having freak-off.
I spoke to a man, Mr. Brown, who used to go to the freak-offs, and he knew Miss Combs, and he knew about her and her freak-offs and everything like that. We had always thought that she had a modeling agency, but it wasn't a modeling agency. It was more a brothel that she ran for high-profile drug dealers. And
50 Cent has sent shockwaves across the internet after confirming that Season 2 of his no-holds-barred Diddy documentary, The Reckoning, is officially happening. This next installment turns its focus toward Janice Combs, the rarely discussed figure many believe was instrumental in building the empire and quietly steering the power behind Bad Boy Entertainment. Sources say several major platforms avoided critical footage during the first season. This time, however, 50 isn't holding back. With no censorship and no compromises, he plans to release the upcoming chapter directly on YouTube. He's promising a viewpoint the public has never been shown before, and making it clear that he's done taking the cautious route.
Yeah, my mom's gorgeous. Hold on, let me introduce you to my mom, called Mom Dukes.
Hi.
She's getting a drip with me. She's hydrating. What's up, Mom?
Everything's good, baby. I'm here with you.
Yeah.
I love you.
I love you, too.
The story opens by examining Diddy's early life, tracing how loss and authority shaped him from a young age. According to a longtime associate, his father, an influential presence in Harlem, was killed while Diddy was still a child. In the aftermath, his mother, Janice, assumed full control of the household. Their home soon evolved into a hub for powerful and connected individuals, giving Diddy early exposure to how influence, image, and hierarchy truly worked. Those experiences left a deep mark. People in the neighborhood sensed that something important and unusual was taking shape behind those doors long before the world took notice.
Diddy mom, she came out defending her son, man. How you feel about that? She made a comment saying that he's not a monster.
I guess this is my newfound career, so I'm going to say what on my mind and what I think, brother. First of all, that's his mother. Wrong, right, or indifferent, she going to lie, steal, kill, and protect her child. That's what she's supposed to do. But the apple don't fall far from the tree, man. You got to realize that. You know, he didn't get all this from his daddy because he didn't know his daddy, even though they try to say his daddy was some big time drug dealer in the whole 9 yards. You understand? He didn't get this from his daddy. You got to realize, man, you know, his mother had a modeling agency, and it was alleged that it was also Ladies of the Night, a pushing ring too.
From the beginning, Janice was driven by ambition and a desire to gain influence, forging ties with a prominent figure in Harlem to strengthen her standing. After the death of Diddy's father, that drive became even more focused. She began positioning her son as a key part of her own rise. The documentary cites Patterson, who recalls their living room transforming into an informal showcase. Diddy and other kids were pushed to perform, dancing, entertaining, and commanding attention, while adults looked on and applauded. Through those early experiences, Diddy absorbed crucial lessons about visibility, presence, and the mechanics of influence. It was a quiet training ground for the spotlight, one that helped prepare him for the power and dominance he would later pursue.
But when I said Diddy mother might be the originator of the freak-offs, all right, so tomorrow Peacock is dropping. According to the Rolling Stone, the doc features an alleged childhood friend of Puff's, hip-hop producer Tim Dog Patterson. He alleged that Janice, Diddy's mom, would often throw parties at Diddy's childhood home. He says that during the parties, it wasn't uncommon to walk into rooms where adults was having sex. I mean, that was just their normal. And the doc, when talking about the parties, Tim says, verbatim, that's what we were privy to. This was what we were fed.
A more disturbing layer of Diddy's childhood begins to surface through the accounts of those who knew the family closely. They describe his mother's role as highly intentional and carefully planned, not passive or accidental. Family insiders say the relationship between Diddy and Janice often created an uneasy atmosphere, making it clear she was actively shaping how he understood attention, validation, and control from a very young age. These weren't random influences. They were deliberate lessons, embedded early on, molding his perception of power and leadership well before success and celebrity entered the picture, and ultimately forming the foundation of the commanding persona that would later propel his rise in the music world.
I was talking about that his mother could take her palms and bend over and put them down on the floor. Not bend over, but she could stand straight up and put her palms on the floor, bruh. He's saying that about his mother. Who describes any of their mother action like that in a sexual way? And then, you know, I don't know how many dudes do kiss their mother in their mouth when they 50, 60 years old or something like that. That's them. That's their whole thing, man. But that was a little kind of weird for me. And then his mother wore the same white fingernail polish that Cassie described that he liked to see her and other models in when she was describing her lawsuit. And what's crazy to me is that, man, it seemed like him and his mother had this, I don't want to get too deep, man, this Oedipus complex.
The behaviors shaped during Diddy's childhood later reappeared in the world he created as an adult, with his high-profile gatherings closely resembling the environments he was raised in. These settings didn't emerge by chance. They reflected familiar patterns. Janice was not removed from these scenes. According to multiple witnesses, she was fully aware of what was happening and was seen at many of these events, quietly watching and influencing things from the background. Her continued involvement reinforced the path she had set long ago, underscoring how deeply her guidance was embedded in the persona and power structure Diddy eventually came to embody.
I believe she knew about the freakos.
Because one of the witnesses said she was there. And do you remember this, bro? Check it out. People tell off on themselves so much, man, and I don't understand when people don't catch it. Diddy has said this. He said, when I give a party, I have to have an ambulance outside of the house. Paramedics ready. That people have to take IVs. Remember the time that him and his mama kissed each other on the lips?
Yeah, I remember that video.
Do you remember that both of them was getting an IV at the same time?
Yeah, I did notice that, yep.
That's from the Diddy Freak Off party. And I'm going to say allegedly.
So let me ask you this. You knowing her at one point, you knowing her personally, is she the kind of person that, you know, will be a part of a freak off or no?
I think that she liked to party and she partied with young people. She's always been like that. She always copied or emulated Little Kim and Mary J. Blige. Or they emulated her. The blonde hair, the nails, the high boots,
The individual later explained that he had long felt something was off about the closeness between Diddy and his mother, particularly after his father's death. At that point, Janice placed responsibilities on him that no child should have carried, positioning him as the head of the household far too soon. That shift created intense pressure and accelerated their bond into something far more restrictive and controlling. As the years passed, Janice stayed closely tied to Diddy's inner circle and public image, carefully guiding his actions, shaping his decisions, and subtly influencing the patterns that would eventually define his rise to power.
relationship, whether it's physical or mental, with a mother and a son. So I'm looking at his mother and him on the couch. And both of them are getting IVs after one of the Diddy parties. Allegedly. I'm going to say allegedly because I wasn't there and I didn't know. But they showed them both getting IVs on the couch. So my whole thing about this thing is that I'm not saying that she was ever at a freak off. She was ever at that type of party. But you can't tell me Miss Janice Combs, who was always at the regular parties, didn't know nothing about the freak off party.
Cassie reportedly shared details about unsettling and unusual dynamics within the household, shedding light on just how extensive Janice's reach truly was. According to these accounts, her influence touched every corner of Diddy's life, even shaping family behaviors and traditions that outsiders found deeply strange. Those familiar with the situation described an environment that felt tightly managed and intensely controlled, something impossible to overlook. The atmosphere left a strong impression on anyone who encountered it and played a significant role in shaping Diddy in ways most people outside that inner circle could never fully understand.
The situation where they say he was trying to shape Misa into his mother. Can you see that? Like,
Yeah, with the blonde hair and yeah, and all of that. I mean, somebody
really
asked a question: what kind of man puts his hands on his mother? The same kind of man that parties with his mom, the same kind of man who kisses his mom in the mouth, the same kind of man who seems to have accurate knowledge that his elderly mother can put both of her hands, her palms, on the floor and while she's standing up, bent over.
Oh damn! I ain't seen that one. Oh.
You never seen the Instagram video where he was talking about how his mom is still young and spry and how she still liked the party and how they was getting a IV drip?
Oh. Damn.
And she was kissing him in the mouth on the video. And he was like, "Yeah, my mom can bend over and touch the floor with her palms." It's a very, very, very weird relationship.
It's important to remember that Diddy's childhood was marked by chaos and influence far beyond what most kids experience. His early years unfolded in a constantly shifting environment where power and control were ever present. According to allegations, even at a young age he witnessed his mother orchestrating an intense social network from their home, with people frequently moving in and out under her guidance, something many later described as an open secret. Growing up in that setting, Diddy learned firsthand how authority is established, managed, and preserved. Those early observations left a permanent mark, subtly shaping the commanding presence and calculated mindset that would eventually fuel his ascent in the music world.
Feel about, her. I mean, they alleging that she was, having freak-offs.
I spoke to a man, Mr. Brown, who used to go to the freak-offs. And this guy lives in Georgia right now. And he told me that he was a stick-up kid back in the day. And one time he had robbed one of their spots. And he went back and he had got the money and gave them their money back and everything like that. And he knew Miss Combs and he knew about her and her freak-offs and everything like that. We had always thought that she had a modeling agency, but it wasn't a modeling agency. It was more of a brothel that she ran for high-profile drug dealers and athletes. You could tell by I could tell that Miss Combs at the time, and I actually saw her like young guys. She came at me a couple of times back in my heyday, before the extra 75 pounds back then. And the reason I left Bad Boy wasn't only because of her advances, it's because I got tired of a lot of the bullshit.
As expected, Janice has publicly rejected the documentary's claims, issuing a statement that strongly denies the accusations. Yet what followed has only deepened the intrigue. Despite the seriousness of the allegations and the potential damage to their reputations, neither she nor Diddy has taken legal action against 50 Cent or the outlets distributing the content. For many watching closely, That lack of a legal response feels telling. While all accusations remain unproven, the absence of a direct challenge has only intensified speculation, leading some to believe the narrative may be hitting closer to home than either party is prepared to openly address.
Combs is speaking out about the Netflix documentary, Sean Combs' The Reckoning. In a statement to Deadline, she said, "These inaccuracies regarding my son Sean's upbringing and family life are intentionally done to mislead viewers and to further harm our reputation." She also maintains she was not an parent and says that Diddy never slapped her, as previously stated in the...
Janice emerges as the true strategist behind Diddy's business savvy, quietly guiding him through the industry while keeping control firmly in her hands. Despite Diddy being the recognizable face of Bad Boy, insiders say he never truly held ownership over the label's core assets. Every major piece remained under his mother's authority. Exclusive interviews and footage highlighted by 50 Cent portray her as the ultimate gatekeeper, managing finances and steering the label through its toughest challenges. Sources reveal that when Diddy signed key documents, it wasn't merely a gesture of respect or duty. It was a deliberate move to protect the assets and maintain legal distance, emphasizing just how much of the empire she commanded from behind the scenes.
You think it's Diddy. It's Janice Combs. Janice Combs is Bad Boy. Man. You don't actually sign to Diddy. His name is on a dotted line, but you actually sign it to Janice Combs.
Did he ever tell you why that is, or do you understand?
Oh, now that I'm older, I know exactly what it is. It's a paper trail, so nothing can come bite me. If you come for me, you ain't coming for me. I ain't got nothing. You go.
So why does Janice maintain full control while Diddy commands the spotlight? The answer traces back to a tragic event in December 1991, when Diddy hosted a high-profile celebrity charity basketball game at City College. Before the game even got underway, a surge in the crowd triggered a deadly stampede that claimed 9 lives. Facing multiple lawsuits from the victims' families, it became painfully clear that any future mishaps could put all of Diddy's assets at risk. By holding the reins herself, Janice was able to safeguard the empire, underscoring why ultimate authority always rested with her behind the scenes.
And 2010s, Diddy was really prospering, music, business, fashion. And one of the things that he had said, what he alleged in the documentary, and again, this is an allegation from him, was that the name Bad Boy Entertainment, Combs's name was not really involved in that on the corporate side. And one of the things he's saying is the reason for that was to avoid having to pay any liability from, the devastating basketball game that had happened in the early 90s, where he was the subject of wrongful death lawsuits because of the multiple deaths that had occurred as a result of that basketball game that Diddy was behind organizing. So that was really, surprising to hear.
Yeah, that was a big allegation, because the families of the victims killed in that stampede, it was horrible. We're talking about December 28th, 1991. Combs, fellow rapper Heavy D, they hosted this charity basketball game. The game took place at the gymnasium of the City College of New York. And according to the New York Daily News, before the basketball game started, people who weren't let inside, they broke a window, swarmed toward the entrance of the gym, all went down a staircase. The doors at the bottom of those stairs open towards the stairs, not towards the gym. So once a crowd got down there, they couldn't get the doors open and people started being crushed. 9 people died. Dozens of others were injured. And there were no criminal charges that were ever filed against anyone for the stampede, but multiple families and
Gene Deal, who witnessed the events firsthand, places the weight of responsibility directly on Diddy. Security was insufficient, cautionary signs were ignored, and the catastrophe might have been prevented. Many argue that Diddy must be held accountable for the chaos that unfolded that day. It serves as a stark reminder of how immense power carries enormous responsibility, and how quickly lapses in oversight can spiral into tragic consequences.
City College. You understand? I was there. I was doing security. My team was supposed to have the outside. Puff came to me the day before we were supposed to do the job there and told me that Heavy D didn't want us to do the security outside. I had 18 men ready to do the security outside with my dogs like I always do. People knew how we used to roll. We would have the pits, the Rottweilers. You understand? We had that outside locked up. So anybody try to bum rush, anybody do that, we had the gates, the whole 9 yards. So we could stop all that. You know how people gonna get down in Harlem. You understand? So, and then when you got LL Cool J, you got Mike Tyson coming through there, and they coming through the front door so people see them. So they gonna go crazy. LL was the hottest thing out at that time. Mike Tyson was the hottest thing out at that time. They got all kinds of stars and people in there already. They was coming through the back. They came through the front. And it caused the door to be bum rushed. But if they had the gates up, if they had the dogs, and with the help of the police, that shit would have never happened, bro. That shit would have never happened. I was there. I saw it. I saw Jessica run down the steps after she grabbed the money box because my man Eddie was protecting her. And Eddie's the one called me on the walkie-talkie and said, yo, Jessica just locked me in outside the gym, Gene. You couldn't go down the steps after they bum rushed the door. You understand? I had to run around the whole gym on the outside, around the gym, down the steps, run across the basketball court, and open the front door. When I opened that one door, because it pushed inside, people start squeezing through that. Then I just kept doing the doors, and people was coming in there, falling dead, right out, just falling out right there. And once they got in there, they just fell out. It was crazy, bro. You know, he just wanted us to do inside the gym to make sure that nobody, you know, be over the celebrities like that. That's what he wanted my team to do. But most of the celebrities gonna have their own security anyway. You know what I'm saying? That was just a way to cut our security off anyway. So he cut the security and he got the FOIs, and the FOIs left their post, and that's how the people bum rushed the door, and 9 people died by going down those corridors.
And you blame Diddy for that?
Yeah, I do.
The closeness between Diddy and his mother was remarkable, but its influence reached far beyond their home. The habits and lessons he absorbed as a child began to surface in how he managed his own family, creating behaviors and dynamics that have fascinated, and at times unsettled, those watching his ascent. It's a powerful illustration of how early guidance can ripple through a person's decisions and relationships for years to come.
Again, I know the freak offs that his son is there. Like, it seems like he likes to get down with his kids.
Yeah. But that wasn't all. Just to hear Little Rod say, like, the boys were around. Roger Bonds talked about the children as well. What kind of parenting relationship is that? But then again, that goes back to the conversation of Lori Harvey, Steve Harvey's daughter. It was all known that she was spotted in them streets with Justin, and then she was spotted in them streets with Diddy, and they all tried to sit there and pretend like that wasn't what it was. Like, I don't know if anybody has not noticed, but ever since Diddy got pinched, they've all been trying to pretend like all of the stuff that we've seen that happened, that they was all involved in.
Everyone connected to Diddy is scrambling to halt 50 Cent's documentary, with Diddy himself filing a cease and desist, claiming it is defamatory, misleading, and deliberately damaging. His legal team maintains that the allegations are unverified, exaggerated, and intended to harm reputations rather than uncover the truth. But the timing tells its own story. This legal action didn't follow Season 1. It only surfaced once news spread about the explosive, potentially game-changing revelations set to appear in Season 2. The move underscores just how significant the upcoming material is, as lawyers rush to block the release of the Netflix docuseries scheduled for today.
We have to find somebody that'll work with us that has dealt in the dirtiest of dirty business.
While most would respond to controversy with legal action, Diddy seems to believe the solution lies in telling his own side of the story through a documentary, despite the fact that existing footage and first-hand accounts already paint a very different picture. Rather than calming the storm, this strategy only adds fuel, escalating the drama and making the situation far more volatile. Adding another layer, his sons Justin and Christian are teasing a new docuseries about their family. A trailer released on December 28th by Zeus Network's founder shows the brothers sitting on a couch in a screening room, as a montage of headlines about their father scrolls across the screen. The teaser ends with Justin's phone vibrating. He answers a collect call from the Fort Dix Federal Correctional Institute, where Combs is currently serving time. No official release date has been announced, though the teaser promises viewers can expect it sometime in 2026. Diddy shares Justin with ex-Misa Hilton and Christian with the late Kim Porter. He is also father to 34-year-old Quincy, 19-year-old daughter Chance, 19-year-old twins Delilah and Jesse, and 3-year-old Love. Combs was transferred to Fort Dix from the Metropolitan Detention Center in New York in late October after receiving a 50-month prison sentence.
I am going to let you professionals look at the situation and come back to me with a solution.
50 Cent wasted no time firing back, spotlighting the new documentary and signaling that he's ready to drop explosive revelations the public has never witnessed. He promises a version of the story that is raw, unfiltered, and impossible to overlook.
Off my back, bro. I'm gonna win. As long as you win, we win it. I'll accept it.
Janice Combs is finally emerging from the background and claiming the spotlight, no longer just a footnote in the saga. Whether the allegations hold any truth or not, one thing is clear. This family is doing everything in its power to keep the next chapter under wraps. Stay alert and subscribed, because when Season 2 arrives, every revelation has the potential to turn the story on its head, and you won't want to miss a single shocking moment.
I need some hand sanitizer. Hold on. I got. I've been out in the streets amongst the people. Yeah, I gotta take a bath. Like the amount of people that actually I'm coming in contact with, like that's what I have to do. You know what I'm saying? It's like 150 hugs.
How do you respond to people who say that it's more about the disdain that you have for Sean Combs than it is for giving the victims a platform?
It's not personal.
The show is not completely the perspectives of people that did not like Sean. Not everyone needed to have an allegation to be a part.
This network has a new Diddy documentary coming out, and this time it is coming from the perspective of Diddy and his sons. All the time I thought we were about to leave Diddy in 2025. Well, this documentary is coming in 2026. And a lot of people, just like myself, are already not feeling this new documentary coming from Diddy's sons. A lot of people aren't happy about it and actually shocked that the owner of Zeus Network, Lemmy, is doing this Diddy documentary. But what a lot of people fail to forget is Lemmy and Diddy have been friends for quite some time.
Of his children arriving in court for day one of their father's trial in New York, hands gripped in solidarity.
Do you still believe your dad's innocent? How did you feel hearing that testimony? Do you apologize on behalf of your father? Do you believe your father's innocent? Do you still support your father? Your daddy does for you! Your daddy does for you for abusing women! That's wrong! You think that's wrong!
The foes, the joy, the pain, our voice, the loyalty, the betrayal, the how, the love, the hate, the truth, the lies. And Diddy calling from Fort Dix.
This is a prepaid collect call from Federal Correctional Institution, Fort Dix.
When they released this trailer last night, there were so many comments to Lemmy and Zeus Network that they did not want to see this. A lot of people feel like this whole new documentary is just a PR narrative, once again being pushed by Diddy and his sons to try to clean up his image. And after hearing certain things on 50 Cent's Netflix documentary, we have to go back in time and remember what we were seeing during trial. Even when it came to Diddy's sons, Christian and Justin Combs, they both came on two separate occasions to trial wearing a free Sean Combs shirt. The first one to do this was Christian Combs during Jane's testimony, and you're not supposed to wear this stuff in front of a jury to try to sway their opinions. And the judge actually told him he had to leave and take it off. And then literally like a week later, Justin did the same exact thing. It was taken out of the courtroom by the judge. And we already saw the videos in the Netflix doc of Diddy talking to Justin saying he needed to push out certain content to control a narrative. During the trial, there were a lot of things going on that I could see that to me felt like it was just straight PR. Do you remember all of these people that were wearing the free Diddy shirts? And it was actually a meme coin that's on their shirt.
As expected, 50 Cent caught wind of it hitting the news, hitting the blogs, it being on the timeline yesterday that Diddy's sons, Sean and Justin, will be dropping a docuseries of their own to tell their side of the story, their experiences and how they view things on the Zeus Network, with 50 Cent put it up on his Instagram page, and he promote the trailer when you look at it from the other side of it on the marketing side, but he knows it plays back into the doc that he just dropped as well with the record, and he put it up and said, wow, I want to see this show. I'm not sure this was a good idea. And he tagged F 50 Cent Action, letting it be known that this is really promo.